What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, we're all pretty sure that Ryan Reynolds was only joking when he wrote the line for Deadpool to tell Wolverine during Deadpool and Wolverine that Disney was going to make Hugh Jackman play the character until he was 90. But given these most recent reports coming from industry insiders, it appears as though that might be at least halfway true, as the latest says that Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is not only sticking around, but sticking around for quite a long time, and Marvel Studios has big plans for the character and the Deadpool and Wolverine franchise. We're going to break down all the latest reports for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, what it specifically says about his future in the MCU, and what it means for the Deadpool and Wolverine franchise having more than one future installment. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do, so if that sort of thing's for you, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaways. There's like 3 in the next 60 days. Again, all you gotta do be a sub, leave a comment if you want, stick around at the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Now, in the wake of Disney getting all the rights back for Fox, maybe there was no other X-Men character that was talked about as much for recasting as Wolverine over the last 3 or 4 years, where every name from Henry Cavill, see the fan casting during Deadpool and Wolverine, to Taron Egerton were tied to being cast in the role of Wolverine for the new MCU character. And honestly, even after Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman confirmed that he was coming back for the film, but in the years leading up to the film's release, people still continued to talk about, well, who's going to be the Wolverine for the X-Men reboot in the MCU after Hugh Jackman comes back? Now, this was so much a part of the conversation that even the question of MCU's Wolverine recasting from Hugh Jackman to someone else reached Kevin Feige during the press junket for Deadpool and Wolverine, where he was asked point blank about a possible recasting, and this is what he said, quote, "As comic readers know, there have been various and very different versions of these characters over the decades. It would be fun to explore different ones someday down the line. Again, we don't have any immediate plans by any means, but in decades to come, I think it's inevitable. And if that happens, it would have to be a very different and bold reinterpretation of Wolverine, because no one will ever be as great as Hugh Jackman at doing his version of Wolverine." But with that quote coming from Kevin Feige, the Marvel Studios president, saying that a possible recasting was decades away, maybe we shouldn't have been shocked at all that right after Deadpool and Wolverine hit theaters, industry insider Daniel Richtman was releasing updates saying that Hugh Jackman is sticking around at least for Avengers Secret Wars, and maybe even past that into the Mutant Saga, as the new X-Men Wolverine, no recast in sight. Now, this has seemingly been corroborated by industry insider My Time to Shine Hello, who's not only doubled down on this report, but added additional details. According to them, not only will Wolverine be sticking around as the MCU's Wolverine for quite some time, it'll be at least the next decade, which, as I mentioned in a previous video, will probably take us up to the next big crossover at the end of the Mutant Saga, say 5 or 10 years past Avengers Secret Wars. Not only that, they go on to say that Marvel has plans to do a Deadpool and Wolverine trilogy of their own, which would equate to Deadpool 3, 4, and 5, but now Deadpool and Wolverine 1, 2, and 3. And you'd have to assume along the way, as part of those plans, would be their chance to reintroduce the X-Force, but not kill them off this time the way they did in Deadpool 2. Now, I think it would be totally fair to be skeptical about these reports, and not just based on Hugh Jackman's age. Remember, Robert Downey Jr. is coming back, and he's up there. It has more to do with Ryan Reynolds' comments in his recent interview or one-on-one with actor Andrew Garfield. If you guys didn't see what they were talking about during some of those clips, the question of Deadpool 4 came up. Ryan Reynolds was extremely candid when he said that it just takes absolutely everything out of him every time he does that movie, and to be fair, he did just finish one, so the idea of doing another may be far from his mind. When you give him another year or two, he might strike gold with an idea and be ready to get at it again. But in the meantime, he also mentioned that he saw Deadpool more as a supporting character, and that if anything, he'd be willing to come back in Channing Tatum's Gambit movie. But honestly, when I hear actors talk this way, it just reminds me of exactly the same things that the Russos said about coming back to Marvel Studios to do Avengers Secret Wars, the trepidation, the not wanting to ruin the legacy you've built with great projects, the need and the pressure to sort of live up to whatever the previous movie was and be better than that. It still all comes down to this. Marvel Studios and Disney write these enormous checks, some of the biggest in the game, and you're in the business to make money. So for someone like the Russos and Ryan Reynolds, going to find that next $100 million payday is not coming from every movie studio, and the place you can go get that check is Marvel. So again, when I hear people talking about not coming back or sort of leaving it open-ended, I wonder if it's not just part of a bigger negotiation scheme. And at the end of the day, fans just love Hugh Jackman in the Wolverine role so much. He is so acutely aware of that given what social media is these days. You could just see why any actor would want to stay a part of that role. Now he's under the Marvel banner, and now we get to see this classic Wolverine interacting with characters when he was so isolated for over a decade at Fox. It's going to be amazing. Of course he wants to stick around for that, and we're about to get 2 huge spoonfuls of it in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Now, of course, all of this is very contingent on what the plans are for the Mutant Saga, and specifically for the X-Men reboot. Of course, early rumors said they would leave Wolverine off the team for just this exact thing, so that Hugh Jackman could join up later, not to expect him to be a part of the original 6 or original 8 that they give us in the first film. But whatever ends up happening with that storyline is going to dictate what makes sense for a Deadpool and Wolverine story. And so I would not anticipate a Deadpool and Wolverine 2 or plans for the trilogy to be revealed or any of the upcoming announcements for a while. They've got huge things to focus on, like the next 2 Avengers films. Once they get into it and start to see where the Mutant Saga is going to go, that will inform what a Deadpool and Wolverine can look like, whether it will be X-Force, whether it will be a separate villain like Mojo, something that they haven't done yet. But we have so many awesome things to look forward to with a reboot and a reinvention of what live X-Men look like in the MCU, and so to have Hugh Jackman as Wolverine join that would feel like the cherry on top. I think DC should have done a complete clean break. You heard James Gunn's recent comments about how, well, Creature Commandos is truly the first part of it, but maybe some of the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, except for the Justice League scene, and that's fine and well. I think they should have had a clean break. In this case, though, I go completely the other way. When you've got an actor who's as iconic as Hugh Jackman that fans love, and he's just the perfect Wolverine, a little bit of makeup and, a really heavy workout regimen for him over the next 10 years, and there's no reason why he can't continue to play that character. And then I think you do have a nice, huge send-off for him at the end of the next saga, and then at that point, I think it'll truly be done. He's the one actor, the one character I would hope would stick around, and it turns out it looks like that's what's going to happen. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below. How do you feel about Hugh Jackman being the MCU's Wolverine and for the foreseeable future? Do you think that they should have done a recast? And whenever they finally do, be it in the next 5 years or the next 15, who do you got playing the character? Geez, by the time we get there might be a ton of new names that we don't even talk about now getting thrown around. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. As always, I'm all ears. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we are still giving away PlayStations at the channel. There are a ton this year because there are so many Marvel drops. If you want to be entered, just be a sub and leave a comment because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And of course, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. Find me on all other platforms with original music under the name All Fires. Thanks for checking out the channel, guys. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.